I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty interested in these things, and I haven't found too many reviews yet. So today we're going to figure out what's going to be the best setup for me, whether it's flexible, fixed, a solar blanket, or foldable. But that's got some serious flex, eh? It's very bright. Haven't been able to find too many reviews on these flexible panels on YouTube. So I thought I'd buy one just because I was curious, and it cost me 80 bucks. 200 watt panel, well, claims to be 200 watts. Whether that's the case or not is another story, so we're going to figure that out. But couldn't find too many reviews on YouTube about these flexible panels and what's kind of better. Flexible, I've got a 200 watt fixed solar panel there. I've got a 200 watt solar blanket, and I've also got a 120 watt folding solar panel, so one of the ones you carry in a bag. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best for my situation, because I'm just doing short kind of weekend trips at the moment. What's the best setup for me to get the power I need without spending an arm and a leg? So all these panels are cheap. Like I said before, this one was 80 bucks. The 200 watt one there, the fixed panel, was 120. The solar blanket down here, I think, was around the $200 mark. And then this Waco one, I've had that folding solar for about 4 years, but it was about 400 because I bought it from a camping store about 4 years ago, and it yeah, back then solar was quite pricey and couldn't really get too much stuff off eBay, so that's why I have that panel. I thought about selling the panel, but really you can't really get much for them these days, not with how many cheap ones are on the market. So I've just kept it, and I thought today would be a great day. Sun's out, there's hardly any wind, it's a beautiful day to get some readings off these solar panels, off the flexible, the fixed, the solar blanket, and also the foldable panels. So all these three here, the flexible, the solar blanket, and the fixed, are all 200 watt. The folding panel is 120 watt, which, go figure, because it actually looks, the folding one looks bigger than the fixed one. So there may be some unrealistic claims there from these companies on eBay, but we're about to find out how many volts they put out, how many amps they put out in the direct sunlight. And yeah, so grab yourself a 6-pack, sit back and enjoy the video. I'd also like to thank BainTech for sending me some products to help me do this test. So most of the system I have in the truck now is BainTech. And guys, this isn't a sponsored review or anything like that. The guys at BainTech, I met up with them at the Sydney 4-wheel drive camping show, and I told them what I was going to do, and they said, yeah, we can send you down a meter to put in the video and help me test all these panels and figure out which solar system is going to be best for me and how I'm going to get the most power and bang for my buck. So thanks to the guys at BainTech. They've sent me down this 150 amp meter. So it just goes in between my battery and the solar panel, whatever one I choose to test. And they also sent me a Bluetooth battery monitor. So I won't be putting this on my dual battery. I'm thinking about putting this on my main start battery so I can monitor that, because at the moment I'm not driving the truck too much because I've got so much work on. So I'd like to put that on the truck so I can monitor the battery and see what condition it's in, and whether I need to actually have the vehicle or have the battery on charge while I'm not driving it, which is what I do with the secondary battery. But I tend not to worry about the start battery too much, because I do have two yellow top Optimas under the hood or the bonnet. So yeah, let's test these panels. So like I just mentioned, this 200 watt flexible solar panel, I'm really interested to see how it goes. There's not too many reviews and stuff that I can find on the internet about these kind of, it's more American RV stuff that I can find. So I'm super keen to try one of these flexible panels out. There's all mixed reviews out there. Some guys say they're great, some say they're crap, and I thought for 80 bucks, I'll just try it myself and see what happens, I guess. And there's a lot of mixed stuff on YouTube about them, that they kind of heat up and they can't breathe, and I can understand that because it's just a thin plastic panel. I'll show you how they're made. So it's like a, I don't know if you can see that. It's basically like a plastic film. It's basically like really, really thin perspex is what it is. So, and then the panel's in under behind that, and then the back piece is like a plastic film. So the back side I put on 3M tape. So this is the VHB stuff, so I've put that on probably about a week ago to try and let it adhere as best as possible, so that way when I'm going down the highway the friggin' thing doesn't blow off. But I'll show you the specs on this panel. So its open circuit voltage is 22.3. Its max power voltage is 18 volts. Max system voltage 1000 volts. Operating temperature minus 40, and then its max temperature 85 degrees. And it's going to be interesting to see how this panel goes, because 85 degrees max operating temperature, it'll probably shut down in Australia, no doubt. If your bloody seatbelt gets to 200 degrees, this panel's definitely not gonna work over those sort of temperatures here in summer, especially out west and that, because it's like 45, some places 40 degrees Celsius. So if you've got a panel on the roof of a black car, I'd say this panel is going to shut down. So again, we'll see how it goes, see how it weathers, and I'll let you guys know if it's any good. It says here German certified and all this sort of stuff. It's obviously China made, but yeah, whether it's designed in Germany, I'm assuming that's what the certification means. So yeah, it says here don't bend it over 30 degrees. It will damage the cell. Hopefully I just didn't hopefully I didn't just bend it over 30 degrees when I was wobbling it around, but anyway. So that's the panel, guys. It does come with those other, I think the PV connectors. I've cut them off and just put this Anderson plug on there. So, and the panel, this panel's in not very good condition. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. If you can actually see the, there's a few scratches and a couple of dents in it from shipping. But actually, no, it wasn't from shipping, because the box was in perfect condition. It was actually from the factory. So I contacted them and they did reimburse half my money back, which was good. So I can't complain, but it's still not the point. You get a product and you expect it to be good, but again, that's eBay. You buy crap off eBay, you're probably going to get crap. But I just want to see how it goes. I'm just curious. 80 bucks. Well, it actually cost me 40 bucks. So yeah, let's plug it in and see what readings we get. Righto guys, so the first panel that I'm doing is the flexible panel. So I've got it mounted right now on top of the tent, as if I was gonna, that's where I'm thinking about putting it. I think I was gonna stick it up there. That's why I put the 3M tape on it, so I can clean the aluminium on top of the rooftop tent, and then yeah, stick it up there. So it's up there simulated as if that's where it's gonna be, so we can go ahead now and we will plug in the tester and see exactly what we are getting out of it power wise. So we're angled right now, sun's up there, angled right into the sun. The time is, hang on 1 second. The time is 2 o'clock, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll whack the watt meter on and I'll show you guys what we're getting out of it. So righto guys, we've got the wires running up there on top of the panel, on top of the tent, and then you have your source, so that's obviously your tomato sauce. Just kidding. So that's the source where the power's coming from. So, and then you've got your load coming out the other side. So this is the reading. So we've got 5.7 amps at 13.7776, fluctuating there, volts. So that's what we're getting out of that flexible panel right now, which I think's pretty good. Righto, so I've got my notepad here. So guys, I stuffed up that flexible panel is claiming to be 250 watts. So 250 flexi, we're getting 5.7 amps. So now we'll move on to the 200 watt fixed, and we'll see what we're getting out of the 200 watt fixed panel. So here we have the 200 watt fixed panel. If anyone wants to know where I got these, I got them from Forward Drive Super Centre, these little brackets. They were, I think they were like 20 bucks or something. So we'll have a quick look at the back of this. So this comes from the same company, guys. I think the company's called Outback Camping or something on eBay. Is where I bought this fixed panel, and I bought the flexible one that's up there on the roof. So we'll get this up to where I'd be mounting it. So I'm trying to do this review in positions where I'd have these panels mounted, not with them directly to the sun. So these are my options that I have. I can either go flexi up there, fixed on the roof rack, carry the flexible panels, or go with these, which I think I'm going to carry anyway. This solar blanket, I think I might take this with me as well, depending on what other system I choose. So we'll get this up on the roof now and we'll take its reading. So this is a couple of options that I've got. I could run all these panels, but I really don't want to have this many panels on my car. So the flexible up there, or I'm going to run the fixed either that direction or sideways with my Max Tracks up here on the roof. So we'll hook this up now and we'll take a reading. I know, so we have this one now hooked up. It's been hooked up for probably, I don't know, close to a minute. Wow, that's a big difference, guys. 2.3 amps at 13.6 volts. So obviously this panel here will never be angled to the sun, because that's how I'd mount it, just flat on the roof. So it's crazy, it seriously does make a big difference, eh? From having it flat like that, having a glass fixed panel, versus having the other panel. I know the other panel up there is 50 watts more. So again, these could change. So these are at 2 p.m, between 2 p.m. and say 2:30 between when I'm videoing this. So we had 2.3 amps from the 200 watt fixed panel. We'll just right under that flat, and then flexi was angled to the sun. So now we'll go and we'll do the solar blanket. So this is the King's 200 watt monocrystalline solar blanket. Again, not as expensive as some of the Red Arc stuff and things like that, but I really don't need to spend that much for what I'm doing at the moment. So we'll put this panel up now on the window, because that's where I'd be running it if I was parked up, and we'll see what reading we get out of this panel. So we now have the solar blanket 200 watt monocrystalline on the window. So it's angled to the sun just like the top panel is. So let's see what reading we have. It's been on there for about a minute. So we have, wow, that's pretty good. Nearly 6 amps. So that's 5.8 at 13.7 volts. Yeah, 5 point, well, it's just fluctuating a bit there. Again, this reading could be higher if it was in the middle of the day. So yeah, 5.8 we'll say on that 200 watt King's solar blanket. Righto, so our 200 blanket was 5.8 amps, and it was angled to the sun as well. So now we'll try the Waco 120 watt panels, and we'll see what we'll get out of them. Rightio, the 120 watt Waco foldable panels. So these are probably the most pain in the ass to carry around with you, just because you got a big bag and they're heavy as all hell, and well, not that heavy, but they're just a real pain. So all the other panels are unregulated. This one is regulated. So we've got 5.16 amps at 13.6 volts. So the 120 fixed folding was 5.1 amps, and that was angled at the sun also. So we'll go run back through them. 250 watt flexi angled at the sun is 5.7 amps at, and this is all at 2 p.m. guys. 200 watt fixed flat was 2.3 amps. The 200 watt blanket angled on the window was 5.8 amps. The 120 watt fixed fold, it was angled 5.1 amps. Righto, well that's kind of helped me out today, figuring this out, trying to work out based on what I had in the shed and the things that I'd already bought, which panel is going to give me the most amperage without going and spending heaps more money. Like, yeah, I could go and buy some bigger fixed panels or some bigger folding panels, but at the end of the day, I don't want to add any more weight. I need that extra weight for when we go away to pack gear and stuff, so for the GVM. So the less weight I can carry, the better. And today, the flexible panel and the solar blanket were producing the most amount of power, so that's probably why I'm gonna stick with those. And yeah, I'll let you guys know how this flexible panel goes, if it's any good, if I have dramas with it, and yeah, but can't complain. $40, because they did, like I mentioned before, they did reimburse me because of some of the damage on this panel. So there's a couple of little dents and things like that and scratches. So again, what do you expect? You buy things off eBay and you can't expect them to be too good. So, but we'll get it up there on the tent. That'll be in another video coming. I'll get the flexible panel on the tent, and I'll also show you guys the power system that I've put in the tent to charge my camera, my phone, my iPad and things like that, and a few of the other accessories that I've put in the tent. So yeah, gonna run with the King's 200 watt solar blanket and the flexible panel permanently mounted to the roof with the 3M tape, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll do a review in a few months once it's been up there, and hopefully all good. If not, I'll let you guys know if it's crap. So, but for 40 bucks, I'm pretty keen to test it out and see how we go. But again, this whole video is based on what I had available at the time to me, not really so much comparing a 200 watt panel all the way through between flexible, folding, blanket and fixed. It's more so about, I had these folding ones, already had the blanket, I didn't have a fixed panel, so I bought a fixed panel, and I bought the flexible panel because I couldn't really find too much information on them. So give it a go. I'll let you know how I go with it. And yeah, so anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead now and pack up these panels and go back home and unfortunately go to work tomorrow. So anyway guys, I'll catch you in the next video. See yous.